Hey, what is up guys? It's Brennan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my credit card roadmap. Now, this is for the current year of 2025 and moving forward into 2026 and beyond. And really, this is a credit card roadmap and strategy really anybody could use as well and take a bird's eye view look at as for a strategy that they could use for their own credit card setup and your own credit card strategy moving forward. So that's what we're going to be diving into here in today's video. And of course, my current strategy has been very focused on cashback cards. You're going to see my roadmap as to what I'm looking for in terms of out of different credit cards and what I currently have in my upcoming lineup for cards that I do plan on applying for in the next 12 to 24 month period. So that's what we're going to be breaking down here in today's video. Of course, if you want to check out any of the card links, you can go ahead and check out those out down in the video description below. Without ado, let's go ahead and dive into things. Now, of course, my current credit card setup is very cashback focused. That's what I currently have with 11 total credit cards from the Apple cards, the Freedom cards, the Citi Custom Cashes, as well as Discover, and recently even adding the Hilton Honors card as my first hotel credit card. All of these also have no annual fees, so none of these cards have annual fees. I've been very cashback focused. No annual fees, just very cashback focused. A lot of 5% rotating category cards in here as well, just to maximize that cash back. But once you've kind of capped out your cash back, what is next, right? That's the point that I'm at in my credit card journey and my credit card, and then those transfer partners as well. That's a whole new side of the credit card setup that I currently really don't have that much built out in my current credit card strategy and setup as far as maximizing those types of transferable rewards points and going kind of a next step beyond cash back. Again, ultimately going with a hybrid setup can be a very good way to maximize your rewards and your cash back, and really maximizing the best value that you can get out of the points that you earn from your different credit cards. Now, of course, as I mentioned, I recently did get the Hilton Honors card. That's where I currently am at with my most recent card. I did actually manage to scoop up that 100K bonus point offer with Hilton, although their Hilton points are not really worth that much nowadays. Honestly, it's very hard to even get as much as 0.3 cents per point with Hilton credit cards. So Hilton Honors points sometimes can be a little dodgy in terms of actually getting proper value reasonably on a consistent basis with them. But hey, take what you can get and give nothing back, right? The old saying from Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, in terms of moving forward, I actually recently did apply for the Chase Sapphire Preferred Credit Card and did get denied. I actually didn't get a regular full out denial because ultimately when you're looking at your roadmap, a lot of it comes back to 524. Now, if you haven't heard of Chase 524, effectively that is when you have applied to, you must be under 5 credit cards in the last 24 months. Now, I am currently at, I believe, 724, so 7 credit cards in the last 24 months. Some of those will be falling off soon. We'll be getting into that in just a second. But I actually did get denied for the Chase Sapphire Preferred Credit Card. I was trying to get their, elevated offer. It's not the 100K offer that maybe you're familiar with, but 75K, I was like, it's not a bad deal. And then you can at least get into the transfer partners and start maximizing those one-to-one points, especially with like World of Hyatt for hotel travel partners, or even if you're looking at flights as well. They do have a lot of good airline travel partners here where you can really maximize the points value that you have with Ultimate Rewards points, especially given the fact that I already have a Freedom Flex and a Freedom Unlimited. So it really would make more value out of the Chase Ultimate Rewards points that I'm already looking at, already earning effectively with my current setup. Instead of just redeeming them for cashback, I can redeem them for, other valuable things if I'm planning on traveling or stay at a hotel or flight or something like that. So that just kind of opens the door to those opportunities. But I did get this type of denial. Now, this page is from Doctor of Credit, and effectively you can choose, if you want to proceed without the bonus, or you can cancel your application with no impact to your credit score. I went ahead and canceled the application because I was like, you know what? I don't need this credit card that bad. I really want the bonus from this card ultimately. So I decided to say, nah, no thanks. I'll save it for later. So in terms of what the strategy looks like currently, again, a lot of it hinges on my Chase 524 status. Now, this page here is basically my current status. I am at 724, practically 624 again. So this one will be falling off soon. I believe that's an Amazon credit card. That one will be at 24 months. probably within a week or two, honestly. That will fall off very soon. And then next I have my City double cash originally. Now it is it's actually a custom cash now, so that's 2 custom caches. Those should fall off soon. And then effectively I will drop out of that 524 status roughly in December of this year. Now, that's currently what it says here. I did look into my credit report further, and I believe it might be as late as either January or February even, so I might have to wait to apply for more cards until even January or February of next year. That's kind of why I mentioned this is more or less a 2025 kind of 2026 and beyond type strategy, because ultimately that's how the roadmap goes with Chase's 524 program and kind of where you're at. Again, in terms of other cards I have in my 424 status, that would then be the US Bank Cash Plus card, the Active Cash, Discover cashback 5% card, and then the Hilton Honors card that I did recently acquire. So that will then drop to 424 once it's just these 4 cards, right? Once the 2 City cards fall off soon, as well as the other Chase card, that's gonna be gone very soon, then I'll be at 424. Now, the magic of 424 status is that you're actually able to apply for business credit cards. Now, pretty much most people can actually apply for business credit cards as long as you earn some sort of additional side income, even if you have a regular job. So it's very easy to apply for most business credit cards for a lot of people if you're earning at least any other kind of income as well. Now, I get that that's not necessarily for everybody, but this is a good way to milk the 524 status with Chase and able to actually apply for business credit cards. And it's sort of a way around it. So once you actually drop down to 424, that's again 4 credit cards opened in the last 24 months, then you're able to actually apply for business credit cards, and then it won't actually count because it is, again, applying to your... It's not going to apply, as you can see here, it's not going to report to your personal credit report, and therefore does not add additional cards to your 524 count. So you'll effectively stay at 424 with business credit cards. And that's really what's informing my strategy moving forward in the next year as far as my current credit card roadmap and plan when it comes to different credit cards that I do plan on acquiring and applying for, or at least trying to acquire right at the end of the day. Now, the best strategy, of course, with this setup is, again, drop it down to 424 and then just go for business credit cards. So what are the business credit cards I'm actually looking at? Now, if you're watching this video and you're saying, wow, Brennan, why do you care so much about Chase and all that stuff? Well, Chase has some good welcome offers and things like that, and they have a lot of cards with pretty minimal annual fees at the same time, where you can pretty much get a pretty good value from it and not be just paying annual fees out the wazoo, and actually get a positive value from the cards. Now, the first card in this lineup is more than likely, now I might change my mind on this, but more than likely it's probably going to be the Ink Business Preferred credit card. Now, the Ink Business Preferred is their sort of travel credit card within the Ink lineup. It is a business credit card. Now, currently at the time of making today's video, it is just at a 90,000 bonus point offer after you spend 8,000 on purchases. Now, the easiest way to hit those purchase minimums, especially for business owners, is you're going to put that tax bill on your credit card, and then you're paying effectively a small fee for earning that bonus. And you're still also earning, 1 point per dollar spent on all other purchases. So essentially, you're still going to get a decent value even with the slight credit card fee that it does come with paying your taxes with a credit card. And the Ink Business Preferred card is effectively it's basically the business version of the Sapphire Preferred, because you're actually also able to access the transfer partners through the Ink Business Preferred card, as well as, again, looking at that World of Hyatt is that magical travel partner where typically you can get 2 cents per point on a lot of your Chase Ultimate Rewards points, effectively doubling the value of a lot of the Chase Ultimate Rewards points. You also have the airline partners in there as well if you are flying. That can also be a good option. Again, companies like JetBlue, Southwest, those are two that I have flown and do like those airlines, and there's a lot of other options in there too, depending on where you're going. But that is a nice benefit here with this card, is it's a business credit card, but it still opens you up to the Chase transfer partners. Again, sometimes it's a mouthful. However, one thing to keep in mind is that sometimes with these welcome bonuses or sign-up bonuses, with the business cards, the ink cards, is sometimes they do actually have elevated offers. This is kind of their more standard offer. If we take a look here at also then the next card would probably be maybe 3 months later, the Ink Business Unlimited card, which again currently is 750 bonus cashback that does come in the form of ultimate rewards points. So that would be 75,000 ultimate rewards points. Same thing with this would be 90,000 points. This would be 75,000 points essentially. That you would get, and then you can transfer that to the business preferred and then utilize the transfer partners and get more value out of those points. Now, in terms of when to apply for this is probably going to be then 3 months later, and then you can get, again, after 6,000 in purchases in the first 3 months, you pay the next tax bill that's going to be coming up after that next period. And the nice thing about the Ink Business Unlimited is it does have no annual fee as well, so it's a pretty good way just to milk those sign-up bonuses. And again, 1.5x on everything. You can't really complain about that. It's a pretty easy cashback card for earning on business purchases. And at the end of the day, if you're paying your business taxes, that's the easiest way to cap out those sign-up bonuses in that short period of time, because otherwise it can be difficult. You're not necessarily buying a laptop for your business or other computer equipment all the time where you're going to hit that minimum spend threshold otherwise, especially if you're not buying ads or something. If you're not running an e-commerce business where you have to buy products and inventory and things, your business expenses are usually pretty low other than paying your tax bill. So that's the easiest way to hit this. And that's probably, the one that's coming up next for me is probably then going to be the Ink Business Unlimited. Now, I will also keep in mind and keep an eye out for certain types of sign-up bonus offers. Now, this was available about a year ago. This is, again, Doctor of Credit here. And so this was about a year ago. They were actually doing 90,000 points on the Ink Business Unlimited. Now, whether or not that will come back now this year, again, this was back in 2024, maybe this will come back next year in 2026, we will have to see. But that could be another way just to kind of get a little bit more extra value out of those business credit card applications. And again, do keep in mind, this will not impact the Chase 524. This will keep it at 424 and basically just keep racking up the business credit cards. That's the strategy. And then, of course, if you're watching this video and you already know the Ink lineup, the Ink Business Cash is the next one here in the lineup because, again, no annual fee. And you get the sign-up bonus. And this one actually has 5% cash back on certain categories such as office supply stores, internet, cable, phone services. Not a bad setup here. Gas stations and restaurants, again, most, even the other Chase Freedom cards are going to get 3% on restaurants, so not necessarily the best. And gas stations, it's pretty minimal spend. It's not like I'm running a diesel truck operation here, spending a bunch of money on gas stations. So really, maybe office supply stores, if I buy a laptop or something, maybe that would hit that 5% category. Maybe paying the internet bill, that could be something. But realistically, I'm really looking at that 1% cashback on paying the tax bill. With this, again, those quarterly estimated taxes, another easy way to hit the sign-up bonuses. This will probably be another 3 months later, so maybe in summer of next year, maybe go for this card, or maybe even as late as a year from now, maybe going for this card then, depending on how applications go and things like that. Now, that will pretty much cap out on the Ink business cards in terms of ones that can earn the ultimate rewards points, and then transferring them, if I want to the preferred card for travel, whether that be flights or hotel. And you don't even have to spend them either. You can effectively, again, these points don't expire as long as your account is open. So it does make sense with the Ink Business Preferred, especially if you're just getting 3x on the travel purchases. It does kind of make sense to at least utilize it to some degree, not just sit on the points. Especially if you're going to be getting this card, because it does actually have that $95 annual fee. So do keep that in mind with this card, at least, is that there is a little bit of a clock in terms of making sure that you're getting the value from it, especially in that first year, other than just the sign-up bonus. Obviously, the sign-up bonus is great, but you want to still make sure you're maximizing your return on spend and not just letting cards burn a hole in your pocket with annual fees. Again, that's the nice thing about the Ink Unlimited and Ink Cash is there's no cost to keep it. You get the sign-up bonus, and you can sit on those points as long as you want at the end of the day. you know, when to get that. So what's next then for me after those two cards? What would be the next logical step? I know this is a very chase heavy video, but trust me, we do actually have a couple other cards that are honorable mentions and something I am also considering in the lineup and my credit card roadmap that is not actually chase as well. Now, this is then, again, another chase card, of course, is the World of Hyatt card. Now, this one's a little bit lower on my credit card list as far as cards I'm looking to get, but this could be another good option in terms of credit cards, especially when you're considering that 9x on Hyatt hotels. If you are going to be spending cash instead of points, 9x on that is pretty insane considering the fact that you get 5x even just by being a regular member on per dollar spent. So not too shabby if you're looking at actually paying cash for the nights. I know a lot of people talk about it as a transfer partner, but if you're just looking at the actual cash value, if you pay cash for a hotel, especially considering if you get a decent cash price, considering what the points price would look like if you're doing the value calculation, then it's actually not a bad setup. And especially if you get that sign-up bonus, even if it's just the 30,000 bonus points, it's essentially the same as what Ultimate Rewards points, although it would be locked up inside the Hyatt program. 30,000 Hyatt points is not too shabby on 3,000 of spend in the first 3 months. Not too bad, right? Now, they do have the annual fee, but that is effectively wiped out by the one free night award every year. Again, you get one free night at any category 1 through 4 Hyatt hotel or resort every year after your card member anniversary. So after the card member anniversary, you get the sign-up bonus for the first year. Then after that, you get your free nights. That's not bad. That effectively wipes out the $95 annual fee, because if you look at any kind of hotels, you're pretty much spending $100 a night on any place that you plan on going anywhere ever, unless you're staying at like a cheap motel. So if you find a Hyatt anywhere, which realistically you probably can in most destinations, a category 1 to 4, especially if you can milk it for that 4 category, you're pretty much covering the annual fee here as long as you plan to stay in a hotel at least once a year, which most people probably are. Again, most people probably will be. So that's a pretty easy knockout there. And then, you also get the status with this card. Again, it's a little bit lower on my credit card list in terms of what I want, in terms of different credit cards, but you do also get the Discover status, which does get you some basic perks here. You get a little bit of extra bonus on the purchase. You get some premium internet, some free bottled waters, which honestly, even with the silver status on the Hilton card, I'm telling you, the free bottled waters are nice. It's just something extra they throw in at most of the properties. Again, some don't, but that's besides the point. Most give you the free waters, and it's pretty nice. So it's a nice little extra perk. You get the late checkout, extra little check-in, some extra things here. At least you get the Discover status with the World of Hyatt card. So again, that is a pretty decent setup there with that card. And then last but not least, again, in terms of my credit card roadmap, is I'm also potentially considering the Bilt MasterCard. Now, the Wells Fargo actually dumped Bilt recently, and they are going to be going with cardless next year, starting next year, and they are going to be changing the credit card. Now, I actually am a homeowner, so I'm not paying rent, but Bilt has added mortgages, or is looking to add mortgages to the credit card starting next year, and it's supposed to be with no transaction fees. So if they actually are able to pull it off with their new cardless partner, they are also rumored to be adding 3 new credit cards to the lineup, one that also has an annual fee, one that has like a $95 annual fee, so that's more comparable to like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and then one that's like a fancy bougie card that's like a $500 or $600 annual fee. That's what Bilt is planning on adding next year. But right now, as the card currently stands, it is 0% worth me applying for it, because again, I don't really care about these rewards categories, especially not paying rent. So if they add mortgages, if they're able to actually pull it off, then it's actually not a bad credit card to add to the lineup, because paying that, however much money on a mortgage every month, rack up some extra points. It's a category of spend that I would not be getting points on any other way. So it could be a good also addition to the lineup. That would basically take up that 5th slot. So I want to be careful with it in terms of getting those business cards first while I'm under the 424. Once it kind of falls off at the beginning of the year and I'm sitting at 4, I get those business cards. And then once I'm ready to like, okay, lock it up at that 5th personal slot, it's probably either going to be the World of Hyatt card or the Built MasterCard. Honestly, in terms of points I can earn, depending on how the new Built MasterCards look like in that upcoming lineup, again, they're probably announcing it maybe even this month or next month, or at least starting early next year. Depending on what that lineup looks like with Built, could be a good option to go with them as that 5th personal card slot and kind of locking up my setup once I have that set up. Again, right now this one has no annual fee. And then the transfer partners are actually pretty good with Built rewards as well. Even if you just want cash back, it's not bad. But the partners on here with Built are also pretty good. If you look at the different travel partners, again, they have that kind of all listed out here. So you can see they do have World of Hyatt as well in their hotel transfer partners, as well as some other pretty good airline ones too, if you look through here. So even if you're not getting it for cash back, again, it can also be a good travel card in terms of redeeming those points for travel. Again, especially if they get the mortgages locked down. Again, that's a category that I'm really not earning any points on right now. So it definitely would be a good card, at least worth looking into for my credit card roadmap and upcoming lineup. So guys, hopefully you found this video helpful on my current credit card roadmap. Let me know in the comment section down below what your credit card roadmap looks like, what you're thinking about. I know this video is a little bit chase heavy, but again, there's a lot of chase cards I don't have. So ultimately that's what it looks like. Those are the cards that I kind of have planned, scheduled up next and teed up. And again, hopefully that, the 524 status, I got to be careful with that 5th slot just because it's going to be practically until the end of 2026 until those next 2 fall off. So it's going to be a long waiting time. So I got to be careful with that 424 status once these 4 are the only ones on the report. So guys, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, then be sure to smash that like button. Let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the subscribe button as well and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. But anyway, guys, that's all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.